Bonjour, hi, Canada. Greetings to my 400 affiliates across the globe on a day where the world is finally waking up to the coronavirus risk to the national and international economy. Over at Axios AM, or there is mispricing the coronavirus risk by Dion Raboin, quoting a actually a Guggenheim analyst saying that we are in uncharted waters here. It will become, this will eventually end badly. I have never in my career seen anything as crazy as what's going on right now. The cognitive dissonance in the credit market is stunning, writes Scott Minard, global CIO of Guggenheim Investments. I'm joined now by the guy who's going to be covering it for you daily beginning March 3rd. Sean Spicer is starting a brand new show on Newsmax. Sean, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, Hugh. How are you?
I'm great. I did my best during Dancing on the Stars to support your long-legged, long-limbered run deep into the competition, but finally all your fans were not enough to keep you in that. Well done, my friend. Well done.
Thank you. I do appreciate you and all your listeners that took the time to do that. When I started doing that, I thought it'd be fun and it would last a couple of weeks. The next thing you know, I'm in the quarterfinals. On the night that I was eliminated, I called the president to thank him for his support, and he had been kind enough to tweet and to post something on Instagram, and he just said, Sean, what happened tonight? And I said, Mr. President, I'm not good.
You know what?
Sometimes it's just that simple.
I give you so many courage points. I would never, not now, not ever, never accept an invite to that. I just would never do it because I would fall over. I don't care who the teacher is. You must have had a really good teacher, but I got 3 left feet. It would have been terrible. You did amazing work. Congratulations on that. Tell us about the Newsmax show.
That's great. Thank you for that. So starting March 3rd, as you mentioned, Spicer & Company is going to launch every night at 6 o'clock on Newsmax. And if you go to newsmax.com, you can find it's on Dish, Direct, Xfinity, Fios, all the stations. And I think what's missing to some degree right now is not just a news show, but a conversation. So I think at night we're going to break it down for people and talk about what everything really means, but do so in a way that it's almost like having dinner at 6 o'clock, and we're inviting you to the dinner party so you can sit there, listen to the conversation. We'll ask people to submit their thoughts and such. But I think right now we've got too much of telling people what's happening as opposed to asking them to join in a conversation where they're hearing from people on a daily basis what the different perspectives are and why things are what they are. Maybe also I think some of the big issues is what they're not being told by the news media and why things matter or don't matter as much. And I think, frankly, and you know this better than anybody, most things are not as black and white as the media would like to portray them. And I think to give context to what's going on is crucial at this point.
Now, Sean, just so long as you don't do it in the morning, I'm all for you. I don't need any more competition. I like morning drive. I want all you people to be in bed and waking up slowly, and I'll get up early and do that. So
you got a deal. You got a deal. I have no problem getting up, listening to Hugh Hewitt, stealing all your ideas, and then covering them at 6.
Who is going to be part of the company, Sean Spicer and Company? Who's the gang?
Well, I'm just saying. You just mentioned that you're taken up in the morning, but you got nothing in the evening. So,
I'm asleep by 6 p.m., man. When you got to get up at 4 a.m., I'm not going to be doing Sean Spicer and Company. But is it out of New York, or are you going to do it out of D.C.?
No,
Where are you going to do it from?
It's D.C. We've got a studio about a block and a half away from the White House right behind. And so we're going to have a rotating group of folks. I think some regulars will be in there, some familiar faces that you know well. And the idea is to get some folks to do the and company piece with some people that might not be on every day, but, once or twice a week, and they get comfortable with knowing this group of folks that's going to come in. But it's also going to mix up a little, and that's the idea, is to make sure that we're hearing from people who truly have, instead of just pontificating ad nauseum, which I think we get a lot of on cable news, it's bringing in people that could say, okay, you just talked about the coronavirus. Let's bring in some real smart, medical field professionals that could break it down for us. Some national security folks that could talk to us about the threat that exists vis-a-vis people going to and from China. And so I think right now our goal is to kind of create that conversation, that dialogue that might be missing.
Now, you're debuting on March 3rd, which, of course, is Super Tuesday. I have already voted because I'm a Virginian, and I will not be in state on 3/3, so I have an excused absentee. They gave me my ballot. I voted for Bernie. And I did so because I want
just about to hold on. Can I just stop for a second? Because as someone who's lived in Virginia for 20 years, I thought to myself, what am I missing? I don't think there's an election. And then I realized what you just said.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You get to walk in and ask for either ballot. It's an open primary. The law allows it, and therefore it is not unjust or wrong in any way to participate. And I want to set up the clearest choice possible, which I think is Bernie. Now, he is not the easiest person to beat. That's Elizabeth Warren. In fact, Joe Biden's easier to beat. Bernie could be tough to beat, but it does set up a clear choice, and we might disabuse the next generation of the evils of socialism if we get it out front and really talk about it. That's my motive. Will you vote in the Democratic primary, Sean Spicer?
I will tell you this. I have never done that in my life, but I take what you say very seriously. And in the last 16 seconds, I've going, maybe he's got something there. So I am there's something about I don't know. This is a moral dilemma for me that I will have to think about. But I get your point, and I think more to that point. Look, I agree with you. Every one of these people has some way, shape, or form said, I'm leaning to the socialist side of the Democratic Party. Bernie, though, is unabashed about it. He's very clear, and I think that in so many ways he epitomizes it, he exemplifies it, and so having that binary choice come November is excellent, because the thing is that Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden will say the code words to the Democrats to get their vote, but then when they go to a general, we'll kind of be like, what are you talking about? I'm not a socialist, and I don't believe in that. Bernie actually will continue to embrace it, and I think that's beautiful. So I think that I agree with you wholeheartedly. The more that it is Bernie, the better. And frankly, the more that it is Bernie, especially through Super Tuesday, the more that the Democratic Party is going to freak out, because the establishment elite cannot stand him. And then the younger voters, ironically, this is nuts, but those sort of the rabid supporters and activists are going to go nuts if they think this thing's getting stolen. So I think in either way, if Bernie's the number 2 or the number 1, it sets up a construct that is so beautiful for us heading into a convention.
And an open primary, I'm getting a lot of heat. Not a lot of heat, but some Democrat. How immoral! You're a Democrat. Imposter. Look, open primaries, I hate them, but Democrats have used them to screw around with the Republican primaries for years, because whatever the legislature of the state in which you live, if they choose to have an open primary, they are saying they want you to participate. It's absolutely moral. It is absolutely fine for people to go in and express their desire for what they would like to see the ballot be in November. And if they want to change every state to close primary, I'm all in favor of that. I think I'm a Republican from day one. This is the second time I voted for a Democrat in my life. The first time was for John Graham in an open primary when I knew he would lose in the general, but he's a friend of mine, an academic. I like the guy. But I just believe if open primaries are there, if the legislature of the state invites you to participate, you ought to participate. That's my view of the thing.
And I think it comes down to how they state that, right? And so back in the day, that if you went to a Republican primary in Virginia, it said that I agree that I'll support the nominee in the general. I mean, you had to just sign it. It was your oath, not the law.
That's not the case. That is not the case.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think it depends on how they frame it. And you're right. If the state legislature sets it up with no restrictions and says, hey, anybody can come in and do this, we don't care, then that's vastly different.
Now, Sean, going back one more time to the new Spicer and Company on March 3rd that comes out on Newsmax. Are you going to run it open-ended so that on primary night you can go late, or is it going to be 1 hour, one and done every day?
It's one. I mean, look, right now I think we're one and done, and it'll re-air. But our goal is very different in the sense that, look, first of all, it's evolving, and we'll see where it is in 6 months, and I might come back on and say how we've had tremendous success, and this is what we want to do. But right now, the goal isn't to do a news show in the sense of, hey, we're the 6 o'clock news, we're reporting the stories of the day. Our goal is to have this conversation. And so if you moved in an hour plus or minus, and what I don't want is I want people to be able to sit down and enjoy the thing. And if you want to tune in to find out, we'll give that March 3rd will be Super Tuesday. We'll be having updates with our correspondents, and we'll be talking about who's doing what. But polls won't be closing by 7 o'clock. So we'll talk about the importance of Super Tuesday and what's happening, all that kind of stuff. But what I want to do is to sort of there's a big difference, I think, between a show where you're watching it to find out the news of the day, what's happening, and sort of all those facts and figures you need to know, and one in which, you're being invited into a conversation and a discussion to break down those big issues, what's happening, what's not happening, and why. And so I don't anticipate, at least now, then again, I'm not the boss of the network, how long it goes. But if we do really well, sure. I mean, we might have a couple nights where we do something like that. But if you think about it, most networks will break because you got another host coming out at the next hour.
You're not going to disappear from Fox, are you?
I think right now I will tell you it's not that I'm going to disappear from anywhere, but I'll tell you, standing up a show of this size takes a lot of coordination and
Here we go. TV guys are always talking about how hard it is. The radio guys just sit down and do 3 hours, and the TV guys tell me how hard it is. But Sean Spicer, good luck starting on 3/3 on Newsmax.com. Go follow Sean on Twitter at Sean Spicer, great American that he is. Don't go anywhere, America. I'll be right back. Updates from the market when I return.